Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you've probably heard that the latest James Cameron movie is doing rather well all around the world. And with China breaking its box office record twice during 2009, many industry watchers were predicting that Avatar could set yet another new record. BON's Sylvia Gunawan went to talk to some avid moviegoers on the day of the film's release here in China.
It's the most expensive movies of all time. Highly anticipated film Avatar has finally hit Chinese theater this week. It opened at #1 in every country where it's been released and is now expected to make bank here in China as well.
I watched the 2D version and now I can't wait to see the 3D version as well.
Tian Xi says she's confident Avatar will set a new box office record here in China. On its opening night on Monday, Beijingers braved the freezing temperatures to watch what has already become the third highest grossing movie of all time, despite being released less than 3 weeks ago.
I'm looking forward to the 3D effects and the storyline. I heard that the 3D effects in Avatar are the best ever. I want to see whether the movie is as good and as stunning as the trailer was. I've been reading about this movie for a long time now, so I came here on its first day of release.
I know this film has had very good reviews and did well at the box office when it was released in other countries, so I want to see if it's good or not. I think the aliens in the movie are beautiful, and I'm curious to see the scenes where the aliens and humans are together.
Chinese moviegoers in major cities will also have a chance to watch it in IMAX format. So far, there are only 11 cinemas that have IMAX 3D screens nationwide. But for those not lucky enough to see the IMAX version, standard 3D screens are on the rise, with China seeing a 20% increase in 3D screens in the last 2 months, up to about 700 according to the China Film Group Corporation. Though the industry as a whole has seen remarkable growth, China still has only about a third of the number of standard screens seen in the US, despite having a population more than 4 times the size. But it may soon catch up. China is rolling out on average 1 new cinema screen every day. The biggest time of the year for the Chinese box office is the 3-month window that covers Christmas, New Year and the Chinese New Year. Many new movies have switched their screening dates to avoid clashing with Avatar. For example, Sherlock Holmes decided to give way to Avatar and won't open in China until the second half of January. Domestic movies including Blood Simple and Treasure Hunter also opened earlier in December in response to Avatar's release date.
During the new year, there will certainly be a lot of new movies released one after another, but the most will find it very difficult to compete with Avatar. The investment and the promotion of this movie is huge, and the enthusiasm of moviegoers is already evident. So there is no way you can compare a Chinese movie with Avatar.
Director James Cameron is also optimistic about his chances here in China. Several other big-budget films have done quite well here, including Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, 2012, and The Founding of a Republic. Cameron says Avatar follows a similar formula of romance and action as Titanic did in 1997.
The director of this movie is the main reason I'm going to watch it, because it's his first movie since Titanic. I'm looking forward to this movie and have high expectations.
Avatar has pulled in money around the world, partly due to the raised price of 3D movie tickets. But in China, the recent growth of the movie industry has been attributed to the country's growing middle class, with the increased number of theaters mirroring the increasing levels of disposable income.
Now China's movie market is getting better and better, and our own domestic movies are improving both from a production and a story standpoint. For example, The Founding of a Republic, The Message, and The Bodyguards and Assassins all did very well at the box office. Chinese movies have more and more viewers, and more people like to watch movies in general. Many foreign film producers look at China's huge market and pay more and more attention to it.
Professor of Film and Television Studies In Hong from Tsinghua University says small cities and even county-level towns are seen as the next potential areas for growth as markets in larger cities become more saturated. But with movies like Avatar dragging a record number of moviegoers to theaters all across the country, film producers, whether from Hollywood or from here in China, will hope that the industry as a whole will see the benefit. Sylvia Gunawan, BON.
Well, Fergus, as Sylvia said, lots of Chinese movies avoiding this particular period of time for their release, some appearing a little bit earlier, of course some delaying their release.
Sure, nobody wanting to go head-to-head with Avatar, realising what a success it's going to be. Interestingly, it was pushed back a couple of days. Its initial date of release was going to be the 2nd. It was pushed back to the 4th. So giving an extra couple of days for any of the Chinese movies, or indeed other movies that were going against it, to get those other couple of days of revenue before it took over the market completely.
Absolutely. Now stay with us. We're staying with the topic of movies as BUN News continues with Straight from the Street up next.